You're finally living your dream. Keys in hand to that perfect lake house. Waves lapping at the shore like a lullaby. But bam, one busybody with a clipboard and a grudge turns paradise into a battlefield. That's exactly what happened to Jake Harlan. And oh boy, did it explode into the kind of neighborhood nightmare that leaves you gasping, "What the hell just went down?" Jake pulled up to Willow Lake Estates that crisp autumn morning, the sun glinting off the water like diamonds scattered by a careless god. He'd scraped together every penny from his late dad's inheritance for this slice of heaven, a cozy 2-story cabin with a wraparound porch, the kind where you sip coffee and watch loons dive at dawn. At 42, divorced and done with city chaos, this was his reset button. He could almost taste the fresh pine air, hear the gentle slap of water against the dock. But as he unloaded the first box, a shadow fell over him like a storm cloud rolling in uninvited. "Excuse me, sir." The voice sliced through the quiet like nails on a chalkboard. There she stood, Karen Whitaker, self-appointed queen of the HOA, arms crossed over her starched blouse, lips pursed tighter than a miser's wallet. Mid-50s, with hair sprayed into submission and eyes that could curdle milk. She thrust a laminated rulebook under his nose. "This property isn't zoned for single occupancy without board approval. You'll need to evict yourself by sundown, or face fines. Welcome to the neighborhood, hope you like bureaucracy." Jake blinked, heart thudding like a bass drum in his chest. Evict himself? He'd closed on the deed yesterday. "Ma'am, I own this place fair and square. Here's the paperwork." He fumbled for the folder, but she snatched it, flipping through pages with the disdain of a critic reviewing fast food. Her sigh was theatrical, long and gusty, carrying the faint whiff of expensive lavender perfume mixed with something sour, like regret she refused to own. Forged signatures? Amateur hour. I've seen it all before. Hand over the keys, or I'll call the sheriff. What? Forged? Jake's stomach twisted, a cold sweat prickling his skin despite the warming sun. He grabbed the documents back, scanning them wildly. His signature looked almost, and there, in the fine print, references to a proxy buyer he'd never heard of. Panic clawed up his throat. Had he been scammed at closing? The realtor, Lisa Jim, had been rock solid, triple-checking everything. But Karen? She was already dialing her phone, smirking like she'd won the lottery. That's when the hook sank deeper. Jake stormed to the HOA office that afternoon, the gravel crunching under his boots like bones snapping. The air hummed with cicadas, thick and oppressive, mirroring the knot in his gut. Inside, amid stacks of manila folders and faded community posters, Karen lounged behind her desk, feet up like she owned the damn lake. "Back so soon? Miss me already?" Her laugh was a brittle cackle, echoing off the walls. "Cut the crap. Karen, you tampered with my deed." "Why?" Jake's voice cracked, fists clenched so tight his knuckles whitened. He leaned in, catching a whiff of stale coffee and printer ink, the scent of small-time tyranny. She didn't flinch. Instead, her eyes gleamed with that predatory spark, the one that said she'd clawed her way to power by stepping on necks. "Oh, honey," she drawled, drawing out the words like taffy, "this community's mine to protect. Your little cabin? It's on premium lakefront, prime for flipping. I had a buyer lined up, cash offer triple yours. But you waltzed in, all wide-eyed and entitled. So yes, adjusted things. A tiny white lie on the paperwork. No harm, just business." She shrugged, as if admitting to jaywalking. "Sign it over quietly, and we'll call it even. Or fight me and lose everything." Jake's world tilted. Adjusted? This wasn't a parking ticket, it was theft. Straight-up grand larceny wrapped in HOA bylaws. His breath came in ragged bursts, the room spinning with the metallic tang of rage on his tongue. How many others had she fleeced? That nosy retiree down the lane. Tom Riley, rumors swirled he'd lost his boat slip to code violations last summer. And Lisa, the realtor? She'd tipped Jake off about Karen's creative accounting during escrow. But he'd brushed it off as gossip. Big mistake. "You're a crook," he whispered. Then louder. "You're a goddamn thief." The words exploded out, hanging in the air like smoke from a gunshot. Karen's face twisted, first shock, then fury. She lunged across the desk, papers flying like startled birds, grabbing for his phone. "Delete that recording, you idiot, or I'll bury you in lawsuits till you drown." Scuffle ensued. Jake dodged, heart pounding like a freight train, the crash of a toppling lamp shattering the silence. He bolted out, dialing 911 as he ran, the lake's breeze whipping his face cool and sharp. Sirens wailed in the distance soon enough, cutting through the afternoon haze like a knife. Deputies swarmed the office, cuffing a sputtering Karen while neighbors gathered on lawns, whispers buzzing like angry bees. Tom Riley was there, phone in hand, his shaky video already uploading to the local Facebook group. "Got it all, Jake," he muttered, clapping a weathered hand on his shoulder. "That which has been bleeding this place dry for years." But here's the twist that hit like a gut punch as they hauled her out, kicking and screeching obscenities. "You hillbilly frauds don't know who you're messing with." Jake spotted it. Tucked in her desk drawer, amid crumpled receipts and fake invoices, a ledger. Pages upon pages of doctored deals, skimmed dues funneled into offshore accounts. Not just his deed, dozens. Widows evicted, families foreclosed, all to pad her lakeside mansion 2 coves over. The fraud? A Ponzi scheme disguised as community investments. Millions? Siphoned over a decade. The investigation unraveled her like a cheap sweater. FBI agents descended a week later, suits crisp against the humid air, hauling boxes from her home while she wailed from the back of a squad car. "It's a setup." Jake planted it all. But the evidence? Ironclad. Tom's video. Lisa's whistleblower testimony. She'd been gathering dirt for months, waiting for a spark like Jake to ignite it. Even the coffee stain on Jake's deed? Traced to Karen's own Keurig. Her prints everywhere. Courtroom drama peaked 6 months on. The gallery packed with teary-eyed victims. The air thick with the musty scent of old wood and fresh betrayal. Stripped of her armor, no makeup, hair limp, glared daggers at Jake from the defendant's table. "You ruined me," she hissed during cross-exam, voice a venomous whisper that carried like thunder. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with silver streaks, didn't blink. "You've ruined lives. 25 years. No parole. Justice isn't revenge, it's accountability." Jake sat there, chest heaving with a sigh that emptied him, a long, shuddering exhale tasting of salt and closure. The gavel cracked like lightning, and the room erupted, cheers from the wronged, sobs from Karen's lone supporter, her shell-shocked sister. Under a sky bruised purple with dusk, lake waves murmured approval, soft and rhythmic, washing away the grime of grudge. Flash forward a year, Jake's cabin glows with laughter now. Barbecues on the porch where kids splash and dogs chase fireflies. Tom's got his boat back. Lisa's agency booms with integrity clients. And Karen? Rotting in a cell. Her empire dust. Penning bitter letters no one reads. Karma's a quiet current, pulling the greedy under while the honest float free. So what's the lesson in this lakeside saga? Stand your ground, folks, because one voice against the storm can topple tyrants. Deep, call out the cheats, and watch justice lap at the shore like morning light. You've got the power, don't let clipboard crusaders steal your peace. What's your neighborhood nightmare? Drop it in the comments, let's expose 'em all. Hit like if karma's your jam. Subscribe for more real-life reckonings. Peace out from Willow Lake, where the water runs deep, and so does the truth.